Talk, current events, entertainment, and more. Joined by America's favorite Jersey girl, DiLauri. It's the King and the Cup.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Sunny California.
Yeah, good morning.
But
it's good for you to be back home, but you left and we have your weather for the next 4 days. It's going to be 75 to 80 degrees here in New Jersey, New York. But
yes,
it's more than an Indian summer. What do they call that when it's hot like this?
I don't even know what Indian summer means. Can you
I don't
say
know,
that
but
anymore?
I'm exhausted. We changed this morning. Jimmy is on California
summer.
time.
It's called the Guardian summer.
The Guardian summer, and
is that what they changed the Indians' names to?
The Guardians. That's right. Yeah, the Guardians.
You can't call it Indian summer anymore.
Oh, okay. Now I'm offending people by saying what I was taught in school. I don't know, but anyway, James, welcome back. We got up early. We did a little version of the morning show with Christina and Kara this morning. We had a good time with them, a lot of laughs. They're doing a great job. Reporting news and politics and current events in New Jersey, covering the Garden State as we are. But before we get to all that, we had some laughs. But Jimmy, it's been a serious week. We took a few days off. We had some family business to take care of. You were traveling back to your lovely wife and family in California. But I'm wearing my Newark Police sweatshirt today. Two of our guys in a terrible incident got shot laying in the street in their blood. One of them in the neck, got shot in the neck, and he was just for the grace of God, as they say, he was a quarter of an inch away from losing his life, and the bullet went into his neck and went into his shoulder. So these times of where God bless you, these times where we're well, I think we have a couple pictures.
Yeah,
but what I want to talk about, Jimmy, and then we'll get into the World Series, but I don't want to ignore this. I want your vision on this and your opinion on this.
I don't know which one you want me to show first.
Well, the first one is him laying there, this brings back a lot of memories. But Jimmy, this was reported a national story as this poor cop laid in his blood, and this basically snipers continued to shoot at him. A passing by motorist, female that you see in the picture, we blurred it a little bit. She stopped, got out of her car as he laid there. No cops, none of his partners were there yet. And she opened her trunk and got a towel and put pressure on this kid's neck, on this officer's neck, as the shooter continued to shoot at them.
I wish we could show the video. So
yeah.
She was the first at the scene, basically, and she stopped the car and got anything in her trunk that she could stop the pressure, the bleeding, and then
she saved his life.
The backup came.
That's the amazing thing. The quick actions by her saved his life, and Fortunately, it sounds like both of them are going to recover.
Well, we have her picture up, Jimmy. She's with the mayor this morning.
That's a hero.
She is a hero, and she wasn't trained. And like I think Robin said, we don't know if she's a mommy, but she took an action like that. Young man is laying in a puddle of blood, and I'm going to do what I have to do as a citizen. And God bless her. And it's good to see she helped the officer. We'll have a picture of him with Mayor Baraka this morning. He's got his neck brace on.
I'm sorry, I'm going all
No,
the
that's
wrong
okay.
order
It's
here.
fine. And there he is with his neck brace on. He's going home. He's getting in the police car, and they're going to give him the motorcycle escort with his family back home so he can recover. But they did catch, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'll refer to him as
no.
This piece of garbage, this coward, Newark's greatest SWAT team, along with the marshals and state police and all local agencies, got this animal who decided to try to kill two cops and an innocent civilian because he could easily hit her when she was helping that cop, no problem. But
yeah,
I hope this bastard rots in hell.
Me too.
And but Jimmy, that's what we wanted to start. Not to start off a Friday with a negative thing, but I'm glad they're going home. They're safe. That woman is such a hero. It's kind of emotional, when there's so much turmoil in our country right now about defunding police and people hating police. Well, here's a damn example of somebody stepping up as a human being, didn't care what his politics or what his profession was. She was helping that man in need, and good for her.
She must not have thought about it for a second that whoever just shot him, like she didn't even think.
Well, she had to hear those gunshots coming at him. And on a second note,
even scared to that's
I don't ever want to
amazing.
get into this where there's a male cop or a female cop. We surpass that these days where you're one cop, you're wearing a blue uniform and you're supposed to do your job. But I will tell you this, and you'll punch me when I say this because females are stronger. I always said that to you. I always said,
well, you're a dad of 3 too.
Yeah, but I always said my
girls.
Female cops, I loved working with them.
Yeah.
They had more than anybody.
Yeah.
But in this case, one of the female cops ran up and she positioned herself to put herself in a line of fire to protect her brother officer.
And there she is.
Yeah, and just holding. She now took the compress and she's holding out his throat with her gun in her other hand, trying to talk on a walkie-talkie, and maybe have to return fire to protect them. And here's this woman. Anyway, good day. Everybody's going home safe. Nobody passed away. Newark police, God bless them, and I'm proud, and I'm wearing brings back a lot of memories because
will
we're
that
in
guy
situations.
get beat up in prison? I hope.
No, they'll probably celebrate him. I'm getting a little live feed from the councilman, former detective Mike Silva, saying to me the second officer was released from the hospital. So this is great news. Everybody's going home. He's very busy right now, and Mike will come on the show.
No, tell him to come on Facebook Live.
He's a decorated Newark cop who was recently elected to the East Ward as councilman. But so, Jimmy, that's that. That's what we've been dealing with around here a couple days. Yesterday, I attended, of all things, coincidentally, was the Blue Mass at the Basilica that you've been through, the cathedral in Newark. And, 1,000 cops strong. Governor Murphy and Madam First Lady Tammy Murphy was there. Of course, my brother, being one of the law enforcement leaders of the state, was there with the colonel of the state police and numerous departments celebrating the lives that we lost earlier in the year of police officers. So thank God we didn't add 2 more to the list here. That's always an emotional mass held by the Archdiocese in Newark. So that being said, brother, we got you for a half hour today. Let's switch. Are you surprised it's 3-2 Houston going home, or did you Justin Verlander finally got off the snide, as they say, and got his World Series win?
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about the last 3 games, and it's been kind of crazy. They come out, Philadelphia hits 5 home runs to come back and win that game, and then all of a sudden a combined no-hitter. And then, of course, last night, Justin Verlander gets the monkey off his back because he's finally able to get his first victory in the World Series. And it's been interesting because one of the things that I found interesting on the first game was that McCullers was tipping his pitches.
Right.
And I just, TC, watching the game, this from being involved in baseball, watching the game, seeing Bryce Harper in the second inning.
I know. I can't believe that.
Tell his hitter that you could tell he knew. Even Smoltz made the comment like he must be seeing something. He's telling the next hitter. The sabermetric people of the Astros obviously weren't watching the game. They were probably watching their computers and didn't catch this because they're not watching the game. They should have been able to relay to him what Bryce Harper was seeing and take care of that before it got out of hand. And unfortunately, that never happened. And that's the kind of thing that I sit back and go, what are we missing here? But I do think, again, these last 3 games have been very typical of what Earl Weaver and Joe Torre always used to say, is you're only as good as your next day starter. And really that's what it's come down to. And
Jimmy, how about Bryce Harper, though? That's old school. He ain't banging on a garbage can. He's picking up stuff like you did in your day. And you knew, and you're sitting in the TV and you know that you're picking up. But I wanted to ask you a question. What's your opinion on this? And listen, it's impressive at any level, but with this combined no-hitter crap, like I don't look at it like it's like it's Don Larson no-hitter in the World Series or a perfect game. This is 4 or 5 guys, but still they shut him down. I mean, they really shut him down.
And obviously Don Larson's family doesn't feel that way because his son spoke out and he said, please don't celebrate this because this is not like my father. Don't put it in the same category as my dad's perfect game. Because his dad threw, I think 147 pitches or something.
Exactly. What we're talking about, Rob, is the 3 or 4 Houston pitchers combined to shut out and no hit in the World Series, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it wasn't one person.
Right.
Like when one person throws 147 as opposed to the guy throwing 60, 30, 20, 15, like it's a big difference.
Yeah.
That being said, shame on the Phillies. I mean, you got to figure out how to do something there. I mean, I was surprised at that. Weren't you, Jimmy? Were they flat? What happened? I mean, they four guys can't be that dominating. You know.
Well, you know what it was? Last night I sat up with Austin and Phoenix and Dakota up at Dakota's work and watched the game. And I just said the same thing to Austin watching it, going, the worst thing that probably happened to the Phillies is they hit 5 home runs in one game.
That's right.
Because they went from a team putting the ball in play to manufacturing some runs, every once in a while stepping into one, but most of all, being consistently hitting to a team that looks like every pitch now, they're still trying to hit a home run. And I think that's, if I'm Rob Thompson, if I'm Kevin Long, I've got to grab my guys and go, hey guys, let's get back to what we got us here. You know what? Let's put the ball in play. Let's quit striking out. Let's quit trying to swing every pitch for a home run and get back to doing what we did to get here. And, you know, to me, that's the one thing that was glaringly obvious to me, that the Philly hitters have gone with this all or nothing mode again. And they need to get back to what got them there.
Are they playing tonight or is it a day off?
No, today's the off day, travel day. They play Saturday and Sunday. And we'll see what happens. Like I said, you know, going back to Houston's 3-2. They got to be pretty confident that they can win this thing at home. But you know, that's why like I said, that's why we play the game, because you never know. I was actually impressed with Noel Syndergaard, who, you know, had all these question marks about whether he should be the starter. Right. He did a nice job and, you know, left the game at a 2-1 deficit, but at the same time, you know, did a pretty nice job for them.
You know, let's get off these creeping Astros. Nobody wants to talk about them anymore. But I mean, they're probably America's most hated baseball team right now. But Philadelphia supported their team in huge ways. A lot of celebrities showed up. You know, it was pretty. It was funny to see. You got Springsteen there. You got everybody comes out for the World Series. Even Supreme Court Justice Sam Alito was there last night. I guess he's a fan. So that feel good for Philly. The city's popping right now, you know, both with the Eagles and the Phillies.
Our Caffeina girls were there too.
Our Caffeina girls were there.
We should have put a picture up.
By the way, Jimbo, you know this. Our Caffeina guys who are just crushing it right now just went into ShopRite on Route 46 in Parsippany. So now you don't have to only order it on Amazon. You're going to be able to start going in your local supermarket and getting a little caffeine. And while you're yawning right now, you better drink some.
I like Amazon because it's delivered right to my store.
That being said, I like old-fashioned shopping until I see the prices lately. Jimmy, staying on baseball for a minute. Cash rumor headlines here this morning. 100% guarantee that he's coming back. Have you heard anything on that?
Yeah, I mean, as far as what I hear the same thing you do as far as the paper goes. I have no insider information, unfortunately, but I do think, you know, it's not a surprise that they're going to be pretty much status quo. And what's going to be the biggest thing is, do they sign Aaron Judge? You know, that is the number one question. I had a feeling that they were going to bring Boone back because, again, how many decisions does he actually make? And Cashman is the one that basically is making, I think, most of the decisions. So therefore, you can't fire him.
Right.
You know, so
is there a timeline?
I do think, I do think it's a matter of redoing the lineup and the ball club in general. And they have some decisions to make. You know, they have a couple things to make, you know, make going into next year. And of course, Judge being the number one.
You're asking if there's a timeline to what? The administration staying in place?
We're talking about Judge, right?
Yeah.
And what they're going to do. Is there, like, typically in the past, is there kind of like a deadline?
Well, Jimmy, November 6th, correct, is when they're eligible for free agency? And then there's
November
a window
6th when he's able to declare a free agency. And then it's just a matter of any time after that, Robin, they can sign him when they're ready. It could go as long as spring training.
Yeah.
You know,
but this also could be kind of exciting because
well, I don't know if exciting because the Dodgers and the Giants are laying out the trap right now that they're going all in and they're not going to lose Judge to the Yankees.
Right. So this all could be happening next week.
Yes. Yeah. And Jimmy, you know this better than anybody. They could be jacking up the price, right? They could be the Dodgers and Giants could be jacking up the price for the Yankees more or less.
Typically what happens is after the World Series ends, there is kind of a moratorium for baseball. It's kind of quiet. And then all of a sudden the winter meetings happen here, actually this year in San Diego, December 5th to the 7th. And that's usually when, in the old days, that's when they usually made the major signings, was at the winter meetings. I don't know if it'll go that long because like Tommy said, there's going to be a few more suitors for Judge just besides the Yankees. And
maybe San Diego also.
I think San Diego's in the mix. I think even the Chicago Cubs might be in the mix.
And he's from San Diego, or?
Well, I'm going to announce something publicly right now, Robin. I'm going to treat you to a vacation. I've been with Jimmy to many times.
Look at my face.
Maybe we're going to go down to San Diego for the winter meetings, Jim. We'll have to go down there and do a show from there.
Yeah, because that is exactly what I would think of.
Well, you love San Diego.
To a vacation.
You love San
Let's
Diego.
go to the baseball winter meetings.
It's a great time.
That's so much fun. That sounds like a lovely vacation.
Jimmy, tell her it's fun. We'll stay at Pelican Hill.
Hey, Robin, wait though. You got to really think it through, Robin.
Yeah.
Think it through. The show is only from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock on the West Coast.
That's right.
You would have your whole day to be at the beach.
All right.
Yeah. San Diego. You love San Diego.
Where did we go to that nice dinner when we met with Michelle and Jimmy?
Joey
was there. Oh, that was Pelican Hill.
Pelican Hill, yeah.
Yeah,
they met us there.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's nothing like that. One of the best, my favorite places.
Oh my gosh! Guess what, guys?
Jimmy likes to play golf there.
Guess what, my friends? I text them. My husband's treating me to a vacation. Oh, where are you going? The winter baseball meetings.
Jimmy, as they say, she's got balls, huh? Because we had to cut her off from a show. She was in Italy for 10 days that her husband treated her for her birthday. Short memory here.
How about I treat you?
Send me to Italy. I don't care. But Jimmy, before I don't want to lose you, I want your Giants and Jets. Our Giants and Jets, our Florham Park Jets are coming off a tough loss with their quarterback, kind of just showing his youthful, unexperienced game there. But that's okay. That happens to a lot of quarterbacks that become greats. But what about the Giants? You think they're bouncing back, or?
Yeah, I think they will. I think going into Seattle, that was a toss-up game. Philly did their job last night by winning again. So they set the bar pretty high still. At the same time, listen, at 6-2, the Jets at 5-3, I think it is. Both teams have to be ecstatic. Again, I think even more so the Jets, because the Jets are just grooming a quarterback for the future, where Daniel is, he's already been here for 4 years. It's about time that he steps up.
That's
so
right.
I think the Giants are expected to win more than the Jets are. So there's a little more pressure there. But at the same time, I think if you're a New Yorker, you got to be proud of both teams.
Yeah, I agree. And we're, like you mentioned all the time, Jimmy, at least we're in the game at this point. For the last few seasons, we're already out of the playoffs by this time. So, for our South Jersey fans that probably listen to us on the morning show today, your Eagles are 8-0.
That's crazy.
And your Phillies are still hanging on for dear life in the World Series. So South Jersey's enjoying their side of sports with the Phillies and Eagles. And, of course, the Flyers and 76ers, everybody's back in action in all sports.
Philly fans, man, they can be quite obnoxious.
Yeah, well, there's quite the rivalry between the Phillies and the Mets and the Yankees, and as far as fans go.
I don't mind the Phillies fans as much as I mind the Eagle fans. They're brutal.
The Eagle fans are brutal. They are
They're a little rougher.
They're a little rough. I mean, I went to one game one year, and I remember I was with Mark Skeels, our friend Mark Skeels, and we were freezing our butt off, and we were a guest, and we happened to be even on the field, and we're like trying to enjoy it. These Eagle fans were like maniacs. Of course, we were there watching the Giants. They're throwing stuff at people coming in and out of the thing, and then you're freezing. I'm looking at Mark. I'm like, we're going to get hit in the head with a brick, and we're freezing our butts off. Why do we even want to be here? And he laughed. He goes, this is great. He's from San Diego. He's like, this is great. But it is different.
One thing is,
going around the country, the fans are different. San Diego fans don't act like that. Philly fans, and the Philly fans don't like the Yankee fans. And it must be fun for you when you went around to these stadiums because the Yankees were the enemy. But fans really get personal, man.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I always tell people when I talk about things is my career is that what's the difference between playing in San Diego and New York? I always say the same thing. In New York, I go 0 for 4. I'm walking out of the stadium. I'm hearing every explicit, like, you shouldn't be showing up for work today, Leyritz. You didn't do anything. You're horrible.
Right.
And then I go to San Diego and I walk out after going 0 for 4. And they're like, hey, Jimmy, let's go to the bar. I'll buy you a beer. Go get him tomorrow.
Right. Well, Jimmy, in all fairness, it's rumored to be, and I don't know if it's going to be, and maybe you have the answer to this. Right now, Aaron Judge and a few Yankees have come out, and they're soured by being booed after they had really an exceptional season, if you will. I mean, the Yankees are expected to win the World Series and minimum get to the World Series. But do you think Aaron Judge sits there when they go, we'll give you $400 million, $500 million, and he looks at his wife and goes, you know what? I'm going to San Diego, or I'm going to the Giants. I'm tired of getting booed. I didn't earn that. Do you think, or he goes, I'm a Yankee, man. I'm tough. I got tough skin. I can take it. I mean, you took it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it comes really down to personal choice. And I think, it really depends on what you want personally. And again, once you play for the Yankees, once you play in New York, you realize the fans are tough. But you realize also that there's no more loyal fan in the world,
right,
than a New York Yankee fan or a New York fan when it comes to you and your team, if you can perform and play in that atmosphere.
That's like kind of loyalty.
Yeah, but it is loyalty because it's just passion, right? Wouldn't you say it's passion? Yes. I mean, it's rude, but it's passion.
They want to win.
It's Jersey passion.
It's the same thing that you would say about Mr. Steinbrenner.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
Mr. Steinbrenner's really hard on you. Well, yeah, but he also pays you the best. All right. And your return on investment, if you win, is so much greater as being a New York Yankee than anywhere else. And you have to decide whether or not that you want to play in that kind of atmosphere. I loved it personally. I liked being held accountable for every at bat, for everything I did. And I really appreciated. I didn't mind being yelled at the Yankee fan because I knew the Yankee fan was educated, and not book smart educated, baseball educated.
Right. And
they knew what they were booing. They knew what they were, what they were cheering about. And again, I'm telling you, at almost 59 years old this year, that the experiences that I had in New York on a regular basis and winning in New York, there is nothing like it. And you never are forgotten.
You can make it anywhere.
Well, wait, what he just said is the key. You're never forgotten.
You're never forgotten.
To that point, all the booing and all the roses they threw at you in good times, nothing better than last week, 2 weeks ago, you're at the game, sitting there, and they pop up, Fox throws up, and the Yankees throw up your famous home run from 1996. And what's happened? Anybody booing you? No, you're getting a standing ovation 25 years later.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're trying to say as a Yankee. I don't know that you're celebrated like that. People, like, you got a kid there that's literally, if you think about it, a kid that's sitting there that might have been 20, 25. He was a few years old, but his father's like, that's Jimmy Leyritz, stand up. Like, and that's cool, man. I think that part's cool. And
even Derek Jeter said it when he came back for his celebration, that he was just there for a month before they played my thing. He just said, he goes, there's nothing like standing in front of that stadium, out in that field, and hearing a Yankee stadium erupt for you.
Right.
There's no that feeling never leaves you. And it was a great honor for them to play that for me. I really appreciated it. And again, that's the difference between New York and anywhere else.
Jeter could prove that because I was at a game, Jimmy, down in Miami, and I know you went to a few games, and now he's the owner of the Marlins, and he's walking around, and of course people want to touch him and get an autograph and sign him. If that was the Bronx, he wouldn't even be able to walk 3 feet without, you know what I mean? So beloved. So, and Jeter was a national baseball figure, if you will. But in New York, man, he's president of the United States. On a given night, Jimmy Leyritz, president of the United States. Like, they don't forget. They don't forget.
And here's what I'm going to tell you. Even if we're in this new regime that's running the Yankees, even if we're in this new, era of ball players that don't like to be yelled at, I mean, I'm going, what are we doing? Are we raising a soft generation? Because
yes,
this is what it's about. This is when you're playing a professional sport, when you're getting paid the amount of money you're getting paid, you're expected to win.
Yep.
And no other place more are you paid better, and no other place more are you revered if you win as a New York Yankee. And I think that's the part that if you don't want to hear the boos and you don't want to get called out for when you're not performing, don't come to New York.
Yes, sir, Jim.
I think that was a premature click of the button. We get the message. I mean, what better than that? It's one of the greatest moments in Yankee history, and never gets old watching it. I always ask you this question, Jimmy. When you were running around the basement, did you even realize what you did?
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing that I did this in 1995 in a walk-off in Yankee Stadium, and we didn't complete the win in the series, and the home run became a footnote that this was a great home run, but if we needed to continue to win. And I mean, right there, that moment right there, to hear the fans screaming and yelling, was pretty cool. And I you can see me right now. Dusty Baker comes out of the locker thing to salute me, and of course, that is the cool part. It's even Dusty Baker, who's managing the Astros in this game, was able to step out and go, you know what? I recognize this because that was a moment in Yankee history.
Yeah,
gets old, right, Ronnie?
The Dusty Baker, who was on deck when Hank Aaron hit his famous home run, so he's seen it all. And for him to come out and acknowledge and give the tip of the hat, that's just one old player giving another player respect, because he knows, and you're learning it in the World Series, in the playoffs, Jimmy. The game's different. Pitching dominates. So for you to get up and hit a home run like that, especially at a guy that's throwing over 100 miles per hour and was just basically dominating everybody, Mark Wallers, and you ruined his life. He's never been the same. But it's just great. I think about it often. And Ronnie from Caffeina, you're right. It never gets old, to Jimmy's point. And I always say this, Jimmy, we've been to a million places together, and everybody stops you and has to tell you where they were right at that moment when you hit that home run, or where they were when you did the walk-off at Yankee Stadium against the Mariners. So
sorry that it just was abrupt like that.
No.
I thought I had it in like the background. I was gonna talk it.
No, it's good.
I just wanted to play it because it really was. He's back in California now, but I'm sure that kind of makes him miss New York.
Yeah. Jimmy, how's it? We got 1 minute to go, and then you're going to take off, and we'll see you Monday. How's it feel to be home? Good, back to the clubs getting shined up, or what? What are you doing? You feel better?
Yeah. I took Michelle out on Monday or Tuesday, and took her out for 9 holes to get her rest off her clubs, because she hasn't played for a while.
Right.
And then if I fly to Vegas this weekend, I'm leaving Sunday. Major League Players Alumni Association is having a kids clinic and then a golf outing on Monday in Vegas. And I'm going there to work with the kids in the camp on Sunday, and then play in the golf tournament on Monday to support the MLB PAA. Just start getting back into doing some more baseball related things.
Good to hear it. And I think I'm going to lock in the winter meetings. We'll come down so the 4 of us can go to dinner, because Robin's going to love that. All right, pal. We'll see you. Have a great weekend. It's good to have you back. It's good for us, all 3 of us, to be back together. Yes. Obviously, we'll see you next week, and we'll talk a lot of things, Garden State football and everything else.
And when we return on Monday, we will have a World Series champion to talk about.
That's true. We will have a world, and I hope it's not Houston. But,
all right, guys, have a good one. Play
right,
that
brother.
caffeine a commercial.
We're playing it, and we'll talk about it. All right, brother. We'll see you Monday.
See you guys.
Bye. The great King Jimmy Leyritz. So I get, we get mixed emotions. I love going out there to California.
I love it too. I just think people are happier out there because of the vitamin D. I mean,
you think so?
100%.
Does the taxes and the politics and the wildfires and everything else outweigh the vitamin D at this point?
Could you imagine waking up every day not having to worry about
I did.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could go back.
Oh, you're gonna get sassy now because I came back because I fell in love with you and married you, and you took me home from California. Anyway, let's go to commercial. Caffeine. I want to talk about that when we get back. And boy, do we got some local politics me and you are going to get into.
Caffeina. Boost, replenish, hydrate. Caffeina with your meeting, with a workout, on the go, to keep going, with a meal, with friends, to kickstart your day. Caffeina, Amazon's best-selling caffeine-infused spring water, 7+ pH balance, electrolyte enhanced. Taste pure spring water. Feel the charge.
Caffeina. Hey, Parsippany, New Jersey. They're in ShopRite right now. They're in ShopRite. Caffeine is on the shelves in ShopRite, or you can go to Amazon. I'm going to go up to Parsippany and buy all the Caffeina water tonight, right? So then they got to refill.
I want you. I could buy it myself. I don't know why I said that, but I want a soda stream.
I am woman, hear me roar. I could buy it myself. I'd get it for you as a gift.
Yeah.
Didn't you have one?
Christmas. Get me a night. Well, I want it before that. But the reason I want a soda stream is because you know that I love carbonated things.
Yeah, I know.
So I can't imagine how delicious this would taste.
6 flavors.
Me,
Ronnie and Joe, what flavors are on the shelves at ShopRite? All of them, or what's on there? Send us a message.
I don't know.
What's your favorite still? Black cherry?
Try
the pineapple?
I like this is what I would like.
Right.
I would like to put the original in a soda stream.
All right. Let's slow down now. It's a family show.
A soda stream?
No, soda stream mixed with?
No.
Oh.
With
lemon?
Yeah, because I love seltzer with lemon.
Is this sign language for lemon?
Yep.
Okay.
Mango, black cherry, and original.
Nice. Well, there's your original. We can get it in Parsippany on Route 46 at the ShopRite.
In a soda stream.
And once the ShopRite in Parsippany has
you're never out of seltzer when you have a soda stream.
That's true. But once ShopRite in Parsippany is rated of all the Caffeina, I'm sure other ShopRites throughout the state, the great state of New Jersey, will be stocking it. Anyway, I want to talk about a couple things. One thing we missed because we were off the air, and I always like to acknowledge our children. My oldest, Samantha Joy, on November 2nd, celebrated her birthday. And as you get older, your birthday, when you have children, as you well know, is about your children. You don't even get to blow out your own damn candles anymore. But
I can't show it.
Oh, you can't show it?
You gave it to me 3 seconds before.
Well, we'll figure it out. But I have a picture of my daughter with a birthday cake, a sheet birthday cake.
Let me see.
That is on social media, and it is her lovely, my boy Maxwell Thomas, who's going to be 3 years old, and with her daughter Sadie sitting on her lap, who's about 14 months old now. And then, Rob, we talk about it all the time, Jordan's Quinny, she's going to turn 2 in December.
Yeah, I'm really pissed.
And she's got that raspy voice. Hey, Pop, how you doing, Pop? What do you have, Pop? Happy birthday, Aunt Mammy. So we celebrated Sammy's birthday. We had a good time. You can go to my Facebook page or the King and the Cop Facebook page anytime, because I like to brag about my grandchildren and celebrate with pictures and stuff. So you can catch it there. Since our technology department is failing to put up my picture of my grandchildren.
Well,
today.
maybe if you gave it to me before.
Well, we got a lot going on. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you. But listen, I got a lot going on, and you have a lot going on. And I'm working yesterday, and I'm working from home, and I'm on my desk, and I'm working, right. And And what's the Italian comedian right now? Sebastian.
Maniscalco?
Well, I don't know. Oh, wait, I don't know what his name
Yeah,
is,
I
but
wanna
he's
go see
outright
him.
hysterical. And he does a skit where he says back in our day, because he's around your age, I guess. But when somebody rang the doorbell or pulled in up in front of your house, you'd be like, get the Enemans coffee cake. We got company. Everybody was excited. In the next 3 hours, if anything, you knew your parents were occupied and you could do whatever you want. You were happy to have company. Today's world, when somebody pulls up in front of your house or you walk or they walk up and ring the doorbell, the blinds go down. Nobody wants to answer the damn door anymore. Nobody wants any company. It's hysterical. So you got to see his great skit on that. So yesterday I'm working. We have these glass doors where you could see through our to our home,
I was
basically.
wondering why you answered the doorbell.
Right.
You must have just been right there.
Well, usually
I'm glad you did.
But yesterday I'm usually in our office, but yesterday I'm in our computer outside the office, which is near the door. And all of a sudden I feel, and Fitz is sitting next to me. So Fitz goes over the door, and he's not a barker. Fitz is not a barker, but he puts his nose up against the window, and here's this woman. I'll describe her as middle-aged, whatever. And I'm like, I could tell she's got pamphlets in her hands. So it's next Tuesday, arguably, could be one of the most serious elections, other than presidential elections we've had in a time. Depends who you ask. The Republicans say we have to save the world because they need to get back in power. The Democrats are saying everything's all right. All due respect to my Democrat friends, everything's not all right. If I go to the supermarket one more time and see milk for $6 or gas $4.45, I'm going to lose it. But it's not all right. That being said, it's both parties' problems, because when it gets like this, my opinion is the Republicans like the Democrats suffering. Are you awake? Going to throw up? What's your problem?
No, I'm
I got your head down.
I'm listening.
So the bottom line is
fired up, and
yeah,
you're
right. Well, wait, I'm leading up to something. So yesterday the Ring doorbell goes off, and I get up, and here's this woman. So usually, me, I'm a little crusty. I don't like surprises. I don't know who it is.
You're crusty.
Yeah, I don't want to be bothered, especially when I'm involved in a serious exchange of email, text message for work related, right? Like I don't want to lose my focus. So I open the door because she's looking at me through our doors. Bad move. I put up those kind of doors. I open the door, and she's going to pitch me on voting staunch Republican lady, represent Republican Party.
Right there for
Hold
the
on.
Viewers. Please,
Yeah,
I'm
I will.
going to let you go for a second.
All right, go ahead.
Just understand, she was there for a community board of elections, board of education.
Well, she started by leading.
Just
she led with the
remember
the congressional race.
The board of education.
Yeah.
In a community,
which I could give a crap about,
is bipartisan. This is not about.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not.
No.
They don't come and announce and say they're a Republican,
Exactly.
Democrat,
So keep going.
but they
Keep
are
going. Keep
right. So she leads with a congressional, and we have our current congresswoman in our area is. I don't want to be Congressman Mikey Sherrill, whatever, a war hero, a mother. I don't care if she's Democrat or Republican. I just kind of like who she is as a person, what I've seen. And then you can get into her voting record with the Biden. And I don't even care. I really don't. I don't think you do sometimes. Sometimes I want to vote for people who I like and I think are going to make a difference.
100%.
Right?
This is why I'm so fired up about what happened yesterday.
And the funny part of this story, this woman's going to pitch me and kind of bait and switch me about the election and what the Republicans are for, which I don't mind. I tell me what you're for. Don't tell me what the other team is doing wrong.
Coming to you about a board of elections for the Florida Park.
No, I know.
Education.
I know. I was getting there to set you up.
Okay.
So she leads with the congressional thing, and I'm like, okay, the guy that's running against Congressman Sherrill. Flyer for him. That's the first one she led with. Yeah, she led with that. And I'm like, he's an impressive guy. He's the son of a fireman. He was a prosecutor. I've seen it. He's an impressive guy,
Fine.
But maybe I like who's already there. No big deal. I don't need to negotiate with her.
Right.
But at this point, I'm like, all right, lady, can you please leave? And then she gets into local politics, which you're involved in. And you're supporting. You're behind the scenes.
I support the truth.
But you're behind not only the truth, but you have a very dear friend running at the local level for Board of Education. And I know, because I've been here, I know what she stands for, and I know what they're about. And like you articulately said, it doesn't matter if she's a Republican or a Democrat.
Could
She's
care
about the
less.
cause for the
Could care less.
children on the Board of Ed level.
Right.
So I'm like, are you really going to jump from congressional speech to me, who knows a little? And by the way, of all days, I'm at the Blue Mass yesterday, and who is my brother standing next to in church? But Congressman Sherrill. So of all days, right? There's a photo all over social media of the county executive Joe DiVincenzo, Mikey Sherrill, and Eddie Cetnar, the governor, and the first lady, and all this, celebrating the lives that we lost in law enforcement. So I'm like, I don't need her bashing Mikey Sherrill's my point. But then she's fast tracks to the local Board of Ed.
She got into the door,
right,
because you thought she was doing your regular,
your congressional race, senator race,
leading up to
right.
But what she was there for was to talk about and bash the current. Thank you for setting me up.
Yeah, okay? Go ahead, Dorothy.
I appreciate you setting me up, but here's what you know about me, and I almost wish you didn't say the other candidates are my friends, because I vote for the truth. This is not a popularity contest. And
no, your friends are telling the truth. You're supporting them because you believe in their cause.
Right. But this is not a popularity contest to me. This is a microcosm of the problem in politics in general.
Right.
And I could not believe when I saw and heard what this woman said.
Were you checking up on me? You thought a woman came to the door and you were checking up on me?
Yeah.
All right.
About how dangerous misinformation is. And I couldn't help but to think about, on a national level, how dangerous misinformation is. I happen to know a little bit about this current race because I'm getting educated myself. I'm the first person to tell you that I should go to more meetings. But I want to be educated on what is going on right now. And what she said was not true.
Explain to our audience what she said. Because me and you went back and forth about it last night a little bit, like as to the confusion, even though you listened to it and I heard it live.
She was saying
she was misleading
that Florham Park was getting awarded.
Correct.
$1 million.
Awarded. That was her exact word.
Rewarded or awarded?
What?
I mean,
in Jersey, we say awarded.
Whatever. We're getting $1 million to push CRT, critical race theories, inappropriate. What did she say? Inappropriate, woke agendas.
Right.
And that is not true. So in a election, I have no problem. I think it's fantastic that somebody's going door to door. I do. But I think it's really negligent to say things like that. You happen to know the truth because we have conversations about it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you what.
But you educated me. I didn't know that we already had $1 million to Florham Park. And if we didn't vote to continue these programs, we would lose the $1 million, where she articulated a different version. She said that if the Republicans got in, basically, the Republicans don't stand for these things that you mentioned.
But my point is, the other three happen to be Republicans too.
Right.
So
on the Board of Education, you mean?
My point is, Republican or Democrat, it has no pushing agendas. So their motto is children, no agendas. But do you know that they're represented by a Republican organization called Moms for Liberty? That's not an.
Who is Rob? Who is
the other
people running? How many candidates are currently running in Florham Park for the board?
There's 6, but they're clumped into 3. Right?
Okay.
So one of them is.
They're running as a team.
So one of them is already a member of the Florham Park Board of Education.
Do you want to mention names or no?
Yeah, but her name is Yvonne Calley. If she's already on the board.
She do a good job.
They do a fantastic job.
Right.
But my point is, she knows the ins and outs of what's already going on.
So you read this as they're putting the fear of God into us. Me as the local citizen, you're going to put the fear of God into me.
It made me mad, Tommy, because I thought, like, if somebody's standing there on the other end and doesn't know the truth, they're going to be like, oh my gosh.
So she went for the buzzword to me. She's like,
Yes,
you
she
don't
did.
want your children being taught about sex when they're 5 years old or 6 years
But
old.
that's never been what's going on.
Right.
There's never talk about this material being taught at a kindergarten level. And I am going to probably misspeak because I don't know exactly the semantics of what the board talks about. I'm not on the board.
Right.
Right. But my point is, I do know this. You cannot, or you shouldn't, go door to door and say things that aren't
But listen,
true.
all she's doing, it's trickle down. I mean, you can't turn on the TV, local or national, without getting BS
And
by
that's-
every commercial. And now they're coming to your front door and doing the same
But
thing
Tommy,
to you.
that's why I'm really fired up, because this is not just about the Board of Education in a small town of Florham Park.
Right.
This is about what happens every day with the truths not being told. I need to say this, and I need to be crystal clear on this.
Are we clear?
I
We're
don't
crystal clear.
I don't run for office. Okay. I applaud people that do, because they're giving of their time,
Right.
and they're giving. So on both sides, good for you. And you know this to be true about me. I always love educated conversations
Yep.
about the issues
That don't get ugly,
we
though.
are going to talk about just that. The issues, not insulting one another, not bring it on and
Yep.
let's talk about it. But I don't see that in politics anymore. I just
No, you're
see-
the enemy if you don't agree with them.
Yeah, and it really yesterday bothered me, because here's the truth.
Mhm.
There is not an additional $1 million reward for pushing what the state is making the community put in their curriculum. The state. You want to go and march on Capitol Hill to fight this? Go right ahead. But right now, this is what we're dealing with. These are the facts. The state is saying one thing, and the state is saying, you're not getting rewarded $1 million. We're taking away $1 million of programs that things like what goes first with program. You take $1 million away. Things like, teaching staff, support staff, size of the classrooms. Now, the state could come in. And run the district.
Sounds like somebody's pretty educated. Maybe you might want to make an announcement yourself about running for something.
Do you remember years back when the state came and took over the Newark public schools?
I sure do.
Okay. So facts.
Mhm.
Facts.
Credit to Roz Baraka, former principal. He got back control of the schools, but go
You
ahead.
have a board of education that
Mhm.
is doing the best with what is going on at the state level, right?
Yep.
And
So it's
hey,
they're mandated.
by
Is
the
that what
way-
you're saying? They're
by the
mandated.
way, if there are naysayers to what I just said, let's have a conversation about it, because I think it's wonderful that anybody wants to evoke change if that's what they're
But Rob,
passionate
isn't
about.
conversation at the
But-
voting booth on Tuesday that if you don't like it, you look for change? But you're saying people are being misled and
Let's
they'll
tell
vote.
the truth.
Right.
There's no additional. She said to you, they are being awarded $1 million to push this agenda.
Right.
That is simply not true. What the truth is that if they can't creatively come up with a situation in which to teach,
We're going to lose some
whatever, I
money or
don't-
something.
yeah.
Whatever.
that the state could potentially come in and completely run.
And this goes for all New Jersey this
Now,
Tuesday.
would they? Probably not. Like,
Right.
they're not gonna bother. They have bigger fish to fry. They probably are not going to come into the small community of Florham Park and say, we're right. Probably not. But those are facts that they could.
You're wound up. Do you got a meeting tonight?
I'm wound up about mistruths. I'm not wound
When
up
is anybody ever telling the truth in politics anymore?
it bothers me.
Run. Mayor DiLauri, Florham Park. You like our mayor. You're his friend, aren't you?
I like everybody. And
Let's slow down. You didn't like the lady yesterday that came to the door. She was misleading.
I didn't like what she did.
Right.
But I still am going to give anybody credit for
but
you have a monologue. You're going door to door.
I changed my mind about this. When I used to say, well, people raise their hand and they stand up and they run for something and they want to do the right thing. But then when they get there, sometimes they get caught up in a trap and they start misleading people and telling false truths. It's the old joke down in Congress Hall where, oh, you like oranges? You're for oranges? We got a guy to vote for oranges. Oh, you don't like orange? We'll come on this side of the, like, nobody's ever telling the straight truth anymore. And it's very frustrating. But politics is local. So not to minimize it, it is local. Politics start locally. But, you know, I when I'm at the Blue Mass the other day and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I seen this in Governor Christie. I seen it in our current Governor Murphy. Although politics sometimes go a little sideways and these people are challenged by different rules and regulations and laws and sometimes get caught up in focus groups telling different versions of what these higher officials really believe. I watched Governor Murphy stand in the pew yesterday and honor these fallen officers. Like, they're moms and dads. They're sincere. They're good. People start off as wanting to always do the right thing.
Yes.
So to your point, you should be aggravated because the message that may have been being delivered yesterday is not actually the real feelings of maybe that congressional guy that's running for office.
Right.
This woman somebody said, here, read this, tell the people about this, go out and tell this mission. And that's where we're lost right now. You look at a commercial and you go, this is my favorite thing. You look at a commercial and it's about Robin DiLauri and she's for this and she's that. The next commercial, because the networks will take anybody's money, is her opponent going, she didn't do this and she didn't. Who the hell knows the truth anymore?
Right. And so I guess it's just all a part of the dirty side of politics. But it really struck a chord with me yesterday because, first of all, aren't we on that list that I signed up for in town? Don't come to my door.
No, you're not, because you got
I was.
Well, you're not anymore in those lists are a bunch of crap.
So first of all,
you better be home all weekend because they're coming all weekend.
By the way,
let's give them the Halloween candy that you brought too much of.
Oh, amen.
Right.
Because
I got to stop. Right. I can't eat one more Tootsie Roll.
Listen to me. I got mad because it was the sad reality of, and I saw it with my own eyes and listened to it with my own eyes, the sad reality about how dangerous misinformation is. And I really don't have patience for, and this is just a small example of a bigger picture. And I guess this is from the beginning of time with politics. It's always going to happen.
Come on. Dead people vote for politicians. I mean, it's an ugly world.
Because it's not true. And furthermore, I have to say this. I think it's wonderful that people are putting themselves out there in the line of fire sometimes to better our community.
But are they better in our community?
Not when they're lying.
Right, when you're giving me a false story. So they're not better. And so you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. I don't believe I think people need to be called on the carpet. And
and if somebody's going to represent me and go ding dong and go door to door, you bet your ass I'm going to make sure that whoever is speaking on my behalf is going to be telling the truth.
Now, this congressional
candidate
who she led with her pamphlet for me, probably had no idea the way she spun the local board of education. But my thing would be, wow, if he stands for that, I'm not in with him.
Wait, what?
The congressional candidate that's running is why she came here yesterday.
No, it's not though.
Let me finish. Furthermore, lady. So I'm engaged, right? Yeah. I'm like, all right, because right now, if you're to believe that our Congress needs to be led by someone other than Pelosi, you got to vote Republican. Our Senate needs to be led by somebody other than Schumer. You got to vote Republican, right? We got to get the House back and we got to get the Senate back. So I'm for a minute, I'm engaged in the conversation there. I want to hear about this because I like the current congressman who's a Democrat right now, right? And then she spins off into this local board of ed, which I really don't give a crap about. But I don't. I'm being honest with you. I don't have to worry about the Board of Ed. I never did. I could care less.
Okay, that's
Right,
fair.
but that's that. But I
right.
not to say that I don't.
No,
I'm
that's fair.
disrespecting those people. I just like really. You're going to talk to me about the local Board of
You
Ed?
don't have children in the right.
I
right.
care less. And Michael's in college and Joey's almost out of here. Good. So I make a long story short. But then as you know, that
She
Sixth
hooked
Sense
you in.
cop, she hooked me in, and now I'm like, what? And then I'm like looking at her, this poor pathetic thing. I'm not going to challenge her. Yeah, that's the way I felt because
okay.
somebody sent her out there to tell me a lie.
Yeah.
And my point was it the Congress candidate? Because if he did, you just lost my vote. Because you just bait and switched me, and it didn't work because I really know the truth. Actually, one of the candidates sat at my kitchen table, and I know what she stands for. So I know she wouldn't stand for what you just told me is happening.
Yeah.
So you knocked on the wrong door.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But what about all those doors that might have been right?
Of course they are. Those people are. 5 minutes to go. Christina and Kara, did we have a good time on the morning show this morning or what?
On NJ,
right.
on New Jersey.
You made an announcement that you're going to do some segment on our show now because you want to be young or something or get into the YouTubers.
Who doesn't want to be young?
Or what is it called? The TikTokers of the world?
No,
is that what you're doing?
It's
got to go be by the executive board. I don't know if we can approve it. TikTokers.
You could just keep talking about sports.
No, we just talked a half hour about politics.
Okay, so
which I don't like to do either because
we don't want to talk about current events.
And what does a TikToker do actually? What do they call them? What do you call the influencers?
Yeah.
What are they?
Well, that's exactly.
I need a 20-year-old kid coming on to influence me about something. It's like the 70-year-old woman who tried to change my vote yesterday.
Of how important that segment is going to be.
Oh God! Did you get a sponsor for that segment? Is she paying for the segment? This is influencer because I hear they're making a lot of money.
All right.
Right?
Yeah, fair.
I mean, we're fighting like every other American right now, and you got these young kids that are called influencers. Well, and who's paying them? Where do they get the money?
They're getting sent these products.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
They're doing something right. So is it like the .com years ago, or they're going to blow up?
Product to sponsor us.
What product will we get this sponsor?
Whatever product I feel like.
All right, then do it.
All right.
It's all about the money.
What are we having for lunch?
Show me the money. Vespucci's. We haven't talked to Vespucci's, our friends at Vespucci's. I was with Johnny yesterday. Johnny, big supporter of the Blue Mass. I'm glad these cops are going home.
You were in Brick City with Johnny?
I was in Brick City. We were in Brick City. We went to the Blue Mass. John's dad and was a big supporter.
And you were
lied to by the local Republican congressional candidates representative. No, she was outright representing a Republican. When I opened the door, she didn't know who I stood for or whether I was independent. She led with the congressional candidate from the Republican Party. By the way, I will admit that I like that stuff. I love that stuff. I can't wait for Tuesday's race. I am not happy the way our country is right now, but I want to see good people in office. And all I'm saying is to replace the woman that's there who I feel is a good American hero. Don't sell me with some BS and spin it and bash the Democrats that if they don't do this and don't do that, and all of it was misleading. And the average citizen who doesn't pay attention might go, and that's the last thing I heard. So when I go to the booth on Tuesday, that woman told me this. So I'm going to go right down the party line. Boom, 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 boom. That affects elections.
But Board of Ed has nothing to do with parties.
Nobody cares about the Board of Ed. Do you really care about the Board of Ed? Have you ever cared about the Board of Ed? Be honest. You're honest. Look at your face right now.
Yeah.
When have you cared?
I literally can't believe that we have been talking, and I have been wanting to get on this show today to talk about what was making me upset about the lying of the Board of Ed. And to wrap it up.
Oh, I thought you meant the lying outright. But so you do care about the Board of Ed. You believe in local politics.
I care about this race.
Why?
Because I don't think that people should be lying.
That's exactly right. And that's why you care. So this really put you over the edge yesterday when you saw this woman while you were checking up on your husband at the Ring doorbell. And you said, oh my God, I'm 100% right for getting involved in this because these people are blatant liars and they're going to try to put liars on the board.
I don't care about the Board of Ed.
I don't. I said I was challenging you. Do you really care? And you're saying, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Good. You only hear certain words, don't you?
Well, I'm pretty sure all of New Jersey just heard it.
All right. So your bottom line is, 1 minute to go. Don't come to my door and lie to me, because if you do and I was in favor of you and you just lied to me, you just changed my
All
mind.
right, that's fair to wrap it up.
Right?
Yep.
Happy birthday to
But-
my Samantha.
But get the facts
Next time I want my grandchildren on.
before you come to my door.
I want my grandchildren on the screen again, because you know what? I'm going to have to care about the Board of Ed because they're going to be going to school.
Absolutely.
And speaking of that, my Maxie
Have
boy
a
is in
great
preschool.
weekend.
Have
Happy
a
birthday,
safe weekend.
Sammy. Have a great weekend.
One last thing. God bless those cops. They're going home with their family. Because to me, that's the only thing I give a crap about today. But good luck. We'll see you Monday. We'll talk more politics.